Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a stack of sources that they feel pulled straight from a dystopian novel, but they're very much 2025 news.
They really are.
We are diving into a major and, frankly, pretty unwelcome shift in user autonomy and privacy right there in your living room.
That's absolutely right. Our mission for you, the learner, is to unpack the reality behind this pretty stark headline, Big Brother moves into your living room. Specifically, we're examining the mandatory, non-consensual installation of Microsoft Copilot onto millions of LG smart TVs. And, what this really signals for the future of AI and corporate control.
We've got articles tracking the rollout, the user reaction, which was intense, and the corporate justifications. So let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
But first, if you like the way we break down this kind of complex information into useful insights, please make sure to subscribe and follow our channel. It really does help.
It does.
Okay, let's go slide by slide through this material.
So, kicking off with slide 1 and 2, the headline here is mandatory updates, no consent, and no delete button.
Let's start with the hard facts. When did this happen, and what exactly was installed that got everyone so upset?
So the sources all point to December 2025. LG pushed out a mandatory WebOS update.
So this isn't just an app you can choose to download.
No, not at all. This is a system-level update that installed Microsoft Copilot, and one source describes it as being permanently affixed, like digital barnacles.
Digital barnacles, that's a great description. It really captures that feeling of something unwanted that you just can't scrape off.
Exactly. And crucially, this was framed as a gift bestowed upon users. There was no explicit consent required before this. This helpful AI assistant just showed up.
And the user's ability to opt out, to say, no, thank you, I don't want this gift.
Well, that's the thing. It's non-existent.
Non-existent.
And that's the core frustration you see highlighted everywhere. The app cannot be deleted. It can only be hidden.
Which, as the sources frame it, is basically just sweeping the problem under the rug, right? The app's still there. It's still potentially collecting data.
Precisely. And this raises a really important question for you to consider as we move forward here.
Okay.
If a piece of software is installed without your permission, and it cannot be removed from a device you purchased, do you still truly own that device?
That is the big question, isn't it? Okay, so let's move to slide 3. We know how it got there. What's the official line on what Copilot does on a TV?
The official line from Microsoft and LG describes it as helping users, quote, efficiently find and organize complex information using contextual cues. They're fitting it into LG's bigger visionary AI TV strategy, mentioning things like AI Picture Pro and AI Sound Pro. They frame it as just a harmless, web-based chatbot.
Right, just another helpful feature, but the sources provide a much darker interpretation, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Yes. The critical framing in the source material defines this as a corporate telescreen that's always listening, always learning, always there.
The comparison to Orwell is explicit then.
It's completely explicit.
I have to push back a little on that, though. I mean, corporate telescreen? Isn't that a bit dramatic? If the AI actually helps you find shows or answers questions, isn't there a benefit there?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But the sources keep coming back to the lack of choice. The issue isn't the existence of the AI itself.
It's the mandatory part.
It's the mandatory, undeletable, system-level imposition. The analysis suggests that when a device gets a powerful, microphone-enabled AI that can't be removed, the corporate benefit, the data stream, starts to outweigh the user's benefit. The convenience is sort of the Trojan horse.
I see. That makes the public reaction, which is on slide 4, make a lot more sense. It was immediate and widespread.
It was significant. The one Reddit post, interestingly, described the feeling as being mildly infuriated.
Mildly infuriated. I like that. It speaks to a certain resignation, maybe.
I think so. But that post on mildly infuriating exploded. You got over 36,000 upvotes.
Wow, okay, so that's a lot of mild fury. What were the common concerns, the peasant concerns, as one source sarcastically put it?
Yeah, the list was pretty consistent. Forced installation, first and foremost, the inability to uninstall, major privacy violations, and, of course, microphone access.
The microphone in the living room, always a sensitive topic.
Always. Users felt like a boundary had been crossed.
So let's look at the other side. Slide 5, LG's official response. What was their defense for forcing this on people?
Their party line confirms the whole thing was intentional. They said it's part of their AI-powered personalization strategy.
So basically, we meant to do this, deal with it.
It's a pretty good summary, yeah. No apology, no promise of an uninstall option.
So how do they justify making it undeletable?
This is where they lean on the fine print. The sources call it the fine print excuse.
Of course.
LG's own manual states that pre-installed system apps cannot be deleted on WebOS TVs. So this suggests it was engineered to be undeletable from the very beginning.
That feels premeditated. But you can turn some of the features off, right? Like the voice recognition.
You can disable some features, yes, but this is the doublespeak. You can turn off voice recognition, but the app itself, the underlying software, remains.
The digital barnacle.
It stays right there,
Yeah.
which is why the sources define this AI-powered personalization as surveillance you can't escape.
That is a critical point. So connecting this to the bigger picture, slide 6, welcome telescreen era. Is this just an LG issue?
Not at all, and this is probably the most worrying part. The sources point out that Samsung also integrates Microsoft Copilot in their 2025 models.
It's an industry trend.
A huge one. Samsung was just, quote, slightly less aggressive about it. This is part of a larger trend where Google Assistant is sort of fading away,
Right.
and it's being replaced by Microsoft Copilot and Google Gemini. These AI assistants are becoming default, mandatory fixtures with no clear user opt-in.
The new normal.
Exactly. The source summarizes this new normal by paraphrasing Orwell. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a Microsoft logo stamped on your TV screen forever.
That's a powerful image. And it brings up another question for you at home. If this is the trend, for AI to be mandatory on our devices, should we start thinking about hardware ownership differently than software?
It's a fundamental shift, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, let's get tactical. Slide 7. Is your TV infected? A field guide. What were the specific models mentioned as casualties in the sources?
The confirmed casualties include the 2022 LG OLED models and the 2023 UA8000 series. But really, any device running that specific WebOS update.
And the symptom is pretty obvious, I take it.
Very obvious. The Copilot app just appears permanently pinned next to Netflix and Hulu on your main screen.
Right there with the services you actually chose to have.
Exactly. But we have to stress again, hiding that icon only masks the symptoms. The AI assistant is still lurking in the system.
So the core service is still there, in the background.
It's baked into the OS.
This whole situation just seems designed to erode user trust. Which brings us to slide 8. The illusion of control versus the reality of corporate dystopia.
A dramatic title, but it fits. The sources argue user autonomy is disrupted, or as one put it, murdered.
Murdered, wow.
The idea of your TV, your rules, is just gone. It's replaced by corporations deciding what's best for the device you bought.
And the implications for privacy are huge with that microphone access. It feels like the balance between innovation and consent is just completely broken here.
Consent is the clear loser, no question.
There's one comparison from the material that really sticks with me. In Orwell's 1984, telescreens couldn't be turned off. In 2025, LG TVs can't uninstall Copilot. The source calls it a more user-friendly dystopia.
That's it, exactly. The surveillance comes packaged as a feature. Which brings us to our final summary on slide 9. Forced AI. No escape button.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
To summarize the core narrative, Microsoft Copilot's forced presence on LG TVs is framed as a masterclass in corporate overreach. It completely removes user choice.
And the sources make it clear the AI assistant isn't going anywhere. For LG TV owners, Big Brother is here to stay. And the conversation about consent it never even happened.
It didn't.
Let's end with that final critical statement from the sources, which is just dripping with irony. Copilot isn't watching you, it's just observing, contextually, for your benefit.
Chilling, isn't it?
It really is. So, what does this all mean?
Well, we've seen how this mandatory AI integration works on a TV, so we'll leave you with a final question to think about.
Go for it.
If the value proposition of a smart device shifts from what it lets you do to what it lets the corporation observe, where is the next boundary that will be crossed? Or is there even a boundary anymore?
That's definitely something to think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope this breakdown helps you navigate this rapidly changing landscape of mandatory AI.
We'll see you next time.